to the world, we're hitting first base. Marty Lurie with friends, home run. You know the ways and the trends, the stories all with the match of the block. It's Marty and friends. Marty and friends.
All right. Thank you, Ruby. Great to be with you this afternoon for a little bit of Giants post-game. Eric is with me, and we're going to have a special guest, Phil Coffin, Coffin. Is a wonderful author, a Baseball Book of Days, and Phil will join us a little later and talk about his book. But it is Eric and I today, and let me tell you, this is the way baseball is supposed to be played. My goodness, Whisenhunt did a very good job today. He looked very calm. He stayed ahead in the count, and he got a big 3-run homer.
Mm-hmm.
And look, all things considered for the Giants, and I have my scorecard here. I got it here. You look at the way they played today, and, Montas was a guy, I said it on the pregame show, Eric, that they were going to hit him. He had given up 6 homers in like 30 innings or something like that, and 356 with runners on base. So they did their job. And the thing for me, though, was Devers in that 3rd inning. Jung-Hoo Lee, big game today for him. Big game. He's a catalyst, and I've been begging them to put him on the top of the lineup. If he could hit like this, he would be at the top of the lineup and get Ramos out of there. But Jung-Hoo Lee gets a base hit. Bailey gets a hit, a stolen base by Lee. Then he goes to 3rd on the error when Lindor can't catch the ball. McRae strikes out, which we know he's going to do a lot of. Just let the kid play. Ramos draws a walk. And Bailey had driven in the 1 run. So now Devers comes up with 2 on and absolutely crushes the ball. Just crushes it. I mean, that's the pitch you're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for him. Upper deck at Citi Field, and the Giants get that 3-run homer and go up 4-0, and they never look back, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. And the beauty of that too, Marty, and when the ball hit the bat, it was sounding an explosion. I mean, it was just absolutely newt. But they didn't stop at just 4 runs, Marty. And that's something that we haven't seen with the Giants lately. Yeah, they'll put up a crooked number, but then it just kind of stays and they don't add on. And today they continue to add on. Devers also had a nice single to the right side, was able to get an RBI. He had another one, opposite field, hit off the wall. Beautiful throw by Nimmo. That was a beautiful throw. Got him just barely. And then, of course, he drew a walk, and then, that kind of set up the 9th inning as well. So, and then, of course, you saw Jung-Hoo Lee all over the place out there. And, like you said, if you could have him do that at the top of the lineup, I mean, you'd see a lot more success with the Giants as far as scoring runs.
Yep. So they win 12-4. Just following up, Eric, on that, runners in scoring position, I'm looking at the box score, 6 for 10.
Ooh.
And Bailey got a big hit to get the run on the board first. Just a shot that almost took Montas's head off. And then Devers, the 3-run homer, which was obviously runners in scoring position there. So there's 2 big hits there. And then Ramos, Devers again got hits with runners in scoring position when the Giants broke it open. Mm-hmm. So for me, to get back to 500 is the big thing. And as I said this morning on the pregame show, it's not the wins and losses record-wise right now. It's how you play the game and how you win or lose. There's still a work in progress in the bullpen. We know that. Jose Butto came in, got a big double play, and it looked like the Mets were going to get back in this thing. And oh, God, here we go. He shut it down. I thought that was huge today for him. But adding on was the at-bats were good. And look, Montas is a very hittable pitcher, very hittable. Warren shut him down.
He did.
and Stanek is very hittable. So the Giants did what they're supposed to do and what other teams have done to them in middle relief. And Bivens and Beck yesterday got walloped the same way the Giants hit the ball today. But Devers, come on. Thank goodness. Hello. Welcome to the fight, as they said in Casablanca. It's nice to have you with us. Big home run. Adames 0 for 5 today. And look, we know who he is and how he swings. And that's going to happen with him. A couple of strikeouts. Chapman got a couple of walks. They're tough at bats. He's like 0 for 19. All right. But Dominic Smith, I know Devers is playing first base. He can DH and all that. Dominic Smith is not a guy you're going to give 600 at bats to. But boy, he's a valuable player, isn't he?
I love the way he goes about it. We talked about this, Marty, I think on through text. He's a hitter. He's not a swinger. And that comes in huge when you have, like when the bases were loaded, he got that single up the middle and is able to score both Ramos and Devers. And that's valuable for someone coming up. Again, he just gives you a good at bat. Similar to how Flores is from the right. That's how Dom is from the left.
Yeah, and Mark Simon pointed this out this morning when he was on. He said that Dominic Smith's OPS, and limited, he's at 105 at bats, whatever it may be, but his OPS is higher than the average first baseman OPS in baseball. So he's given them something. He's given them some home runs. He's given them some doubles. He's driving in some runs. He's playing great defense. So he's done a good job. No complaints with him. Woe was on this morning, talked about Eldridge and how he's progressing defensively, and the bat is getting better. But, boy, there's no rush for Eldridge, to tell you the truth. Not that Dominic Smith is the answer long term, but let Eldridge have his time at Sacramento. Let him have his time there. Let him get healthy. Let him end in a good note. And if you want to bring him up at the end of the year, go ahead. But I don't think it's necessary to do it. But Smith has done a good job. The other one to talk about, Eric, is Casey Schmidt.
Ooh.
Tough at bats. He's another guy. Fouls off. He gets deep in the count. Sometimes he'll get a hit. Sometimes he won't. He generally is not striking out that much lately. I could be wrong. If anybody in the chat knows this better than I may be saying it. But I think he's cut the strikeouts down for him. But a big home run for him in the ninth inning to further bust it open. And he's playing good second base. Look, he had trouble this week. In no man's land, the Keystone Cups, with play with Devers, and the pitcher didn't get over. And then yesterday, Smith goes to the plate, and, where was Schmidt at that point? So, but offensively, I think there's a ray of hope there.
Right. And how about that single? The contact that he's making is solid and hard contact. So, hey, I'll take it. And I mean, he scorched it. It came right off the glove of Lindor, and it helped keep the line moving, so to speak. And then of course that crushing 3-run shot, that was beauty. That was a thing of beauty. I mean, that just sealed the deal. Again, adding on and Marty, how about this? How about the bottom of the 8th with Joey Lucchesi coming in, looking a little bit weird. There was 2 runners on, and he got that huge strikeout on Alonso. That was a key moment in the game where the Giants were able just to keep it under control. Don't let it get, because it could have easily gone to 7-5.
There's no question. There were moments in this game where the pitchers got big outs, and Wisenhut, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, only one was earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Buto an inning and 2/3, Lucchesi an inning with the 2 hits, and Walker. I don't know what they're going to do to close. I really don't. Walker is just very shaky. So it's Randy Rodriguez, and they don't overuse him. But the not having Rogers and Duvall, this is a new bullpen for the Giants. And, like Eric, like you got nervous there in the 8th inning we normally don't get nervous like
True.
that in the eighth inning. The eighth inning is usually a shutdown inning, and Rogers generally gets it done easily. So they're going to miss him. They're going to miss him. But getting down the order a little further, I'm just looking at my scorecard. Lee, stolen base, single, in the middle of a rally, single, then 3 outs after him, draws a walk after 2 out, and then comes up with another double late in the game. How about that? Come on.
I know. I mean, it's that's all you can ask. You want these guys to come up there and just give you a good at bat, right? Don't pop it up. Don't ground out. Just make some contact, and you never know what can happen. If the ball finds grass, and that's what I love. That's what I love about baseball, right? I'm not all about the power. Look, the power is great. Don't get me wrong, but hey, you put the ball in play, beautiful things can happen.
Well, that's the deal. That's that runners in scoring position thing. If you don't strike out, and I've said this before, the goal of Buster Posey, and I think he's trying to do it, is get people that make contact. And I said it before. This little second baseman from Tennessee, who knows? He could be 6'3". I don't know. Colleen, if he can play, this is a college player. See, this is not a high school kid. This is a college player from a major college. If he can play, guys like this get to the big leagues very quickly, very quickly. And I think he's got a shot. I can't wait to see him play maybe I guess he won't play in the fall league, but we'll see him in spring training and see what he's got. But getting contact hitters is so important. People that put the ball in play, because when you put it in play, a lot of stuff happens. So
absolutely.
So for Lee today, again, if Jung-Hoo Lee could do this at the top of the order, that's the gift. That's the gift. But look, the Mets right now are, and I said this before, I know they won 4 of 6 from the Giants. Giants could have won them all, maybe except today. When Tang got hit in the home run by Alonso and all that, but they could have won them all against the Mets. The Mets, if you have a left-handed pitcher, you've got Gage and Lucchesi, Wisenhunt, they could bring Bumgarner back out of retirement and throw him today, and he could beat the Mets. They don't hit left-handed pitching, and look, I'll tell you something. I've watched 6 of these games already. The Mets are going to have trouble hanging on here and beating the Phillies. I don't think they're going to beat the Phillies. Nimmo, just another hitter. Lindor is terrific, but right-handed. Good night. I'll see you later. Soto, at one point, was 6 for 76. Is that possible? Or 6 for 46? I don't know. I can't even read my own writing, but something ridiculous. And Alonso, he doesn't hit left-handed pitching. Mark Simon said that this morning. So you put in a lefty. Marte looks like, is that Marte? An awkward swing. He can't even get the bat around. McNeil can hit a little bit. Vientos can hit a little bit. Mullins, 0 for me against left. I don't care. They'll eat him up. And Alvarez is a nice little catcher. But this Mets team against left-handed pitching, you can beat them.
And with Philly, you got Luzardo and you got Christian Sanchez, and they'll eat them up.
And what about Ranger?
And Ranger Suarez. Forgot about him.
Yeah, no, and the Phillies, believe me, if they get in a series with the Mets, and they've got, I think, 7 more games to play, they're going to wallop the Mets. Mets pitching, come on, this is their pitching, Peterson, just another guy. And, he shuts the Giants down because the Giants have trouble with left-handed pitching, but that's the Giants. But Peterson, not for me. Montas, not really. And you look at the Mets, and I'll go to my book to
Senga hasn't really impressed me. The 2 times I've seen him go against the Giants,
he was awful. Senga was awful. You got Senga, Peterson, Holmes, awful. Awful. Sean Manaea, 5 innings, 3 hits. That's it. Then you got to go to the bullpen behind him. Montas, awful. Mets needed a pitcher. The Mets added on some. They needed a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Not what is it, Merrill Kelly? I think it's probably the guy that was the biggest quote unquote starting pitcher in the trade deadline. But yeah, you didn't see a lot of starters going off the board with the trade deadline.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the Mets. So goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, as EB here says, take the win and run, Marty. Leave the Mets alone. All right, I've told you enough about the Mets, but it's Pirate time. Look, I didn't look today to see what's going on, but 17-16 on Friday night with the Rockies. They lost that one. They lost yesterday. Skeens got beat 8-5, and I don't know what's happening today with Pittsburgh, but.
Yeah.
The Giants go in there with Verlander, Webb, and Ray. Mm-hmm. And I know at Haney, the lefty, and Burrows, and I'm not sure who pitches tomorrow for Pittsburgh, but these should be 3 winnable games for the Giants on the road. Should be.
Right.
So all in all, a good game. This was a good game today.
It is a series win, right? Does it mean that the Giants are gonna go on a tear? You know, they might. It's baseball. Anything can happen. But you won the series. You got a little bit of momentum. Go into Pittsburgh. You got your 3 best pitchers, right? Your 3 best pitchers, and you should be able to go into Pittsburgh and do something. You're gonna avoid Skeens. Granted, Burrows did a number on the Giants in San Francisco, but let's see what happens. Giants are going to see him again. Maybe the Giants got some momentum. Maybe they feel a little bit different since the trade deadline. Maybe it kind of woke them up a little bit, maybe. Because yesterday, even though they got walloped with the pitching, they scored 6 runs yesterday. It's just the pitching just wasn't there yesterday. So let's see what happens. Going to Pittsburgh, and you want to try for the series, but if you could sweep, absolutely.
Now, look, the Marlins swept the Yankees. How about that? Marlins are at 500. I like the Marlins. I do. And they got some pitching. They got good young kids. That brings me to McRae. And I know it's rough watching the swings and misses. He's been doing this since he came up to the big leagues. But he laid down a bunt today that, was a ground ball to first, and he almost beat it out. You get him on the bases and get him to do stuff. I mean, the throw should have been handled by Adames. That shouldn't have been an error. I don't know if they gave McRae or not. Did they give McRae the error on that? Yeah,
it should have been.
That was on Adames. That was on Adames. So McRae is the kind of guy I'm looking for. That's the kind of guy I'm looking for.
And if McRae or Matos seem to be scuffling a bit, you got that new kid that you just got from the Mets. What is it, Drew Gilbert? You might see him.
Yeah, at some point we're going to see Drew Gilbert. Mark Simon said last year he was like the number 2 prospect. He got a hamstring problem. He was out for a while. Has not really come back, but he's another University of Tennessee kid, high draft pick. We will see him up here. I want to see Rodriguez, the catcher. This kid is like, catchers we see in the big leagues, and they just hit. And I don't know if he can catch. Bailey today was not hopeless. Bailey got a big hit today. And he did get a fielder's choice today and then scored a run. And then he got pissed off. He popped out. He threw his bat. Who's he? Come on, Patrick. You're throwing the bat because you didn't get a hit? Come on, you're hitting 2. He struck out, and then he flew out to end the 9th inning. So it was fun. But as I said, this is the way baseball is supposed to be played. We have a couple of commercials today, Eric.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Take a break. And I like the chat. Anthony Millard says, hopefully Roop will be back soon. Spencer says, Gilbert, yeah. What else we got?
Let's see what else we got in here.
Yanks are in trouble. Yes, they are. They are in trouble. It's another team that's Boston is ahead of the Yankees now.
Right.
Toronto beat today. Cincinnati is a team we'll talk about. Then we'll talk about this thing in Bristol, Tennessee. Last night was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life for baseball. to try to play a third of an inning or an inning, whatever they play in a third, in what looked like a hurricane. And that was poor Ken Rosenthal trying to interview people. The guy is like, 4'6", and he's interviewing people. He's holding the mic way up, and he's getting soaked. The guy's getting soaked. I was glad he wasn't electrocuted last night. I mean, and then Smoltz never ever really tells you what's going on. It was a travesty. They should never have been on the field. And they're trying with the dirt, the magic dust and all that stuff. And Smoltz is going, oh, we got to be patient. Are you kidding? It was a bad look for baseball, but they did play the game today, and I guess the Braves did beat Cincinnati. Why did I think about it? Because Cincinnati is ahead of the Giants.
Right.
So we got
right.
That. All right. All right. Hang in there. Anthony Millard, the Marlins are kicking ass all of a sudden. It's not all of a sudden, but they're looking good. They've got pitching, and they kept up.
They are playing some really good ball. They swept up. They went into Arizona, swept Arizona. They swept the Yankees. I mean, they're playing some good ball, man. I tell you. And how about that's something we could talk a little bit about. How about our good buddy Camilo Duvall in his first outing as a Yankee?
Well, it looked like what he looks like.
Right.
The ball was all over the place. Perez, Junk, who we saw, Quantrill's pitching great, Alcantara, and Cabrera. So they have a rotation and they have a decent bullpen, and some of these kids are coming through.
They are.
Even a guy the Giants had, was it Otto Lopez?
Otto Lopez.
Yeah, he hit a couple of home runs the other day, and yeah, good stuff. I like the Marlins. I like what's going on with the Marlins. How about Boston since the trade? They were 500 and they got rid of Devers. They're 11 over now. Yeah, I don't think it's because of Devers.
Not because of Devers. Come on.
Certainly.
Come on, guys.
Certainly, it is pretty good to see what the Red Sox are doing. It's always good to see that. All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk some more baseball, and then we'll invite Phil Coffin on the show. You'll enjoy this conversation about his book, A Baseball Book of Days. Think of all the 30 days, the most important days in baseball history, and he has an interesting twist on it. So go ahead. Let's have a couple of seconds here of some of our people, and then we'll come right back.
Sounds good.
Fans, joining us is Grant Power, President and CEO of Nations. Grant, last year we talked about the amazing breakfast at Nations. I'm going to ask you this. What's your favorite lunch?
I'm pretty split. I guess I'm kind of like a pitcher who has two favorite pitches they like leaning on. I'd say half the time I do the hamburger and half the time I do the wild salmon burger. It really depends on which protein you want. We love our beef supplier in Northern California. We've been with them for decades. We test our beef all the time. We sell ocean caught wild salmon. Friends don't let friends eat farm salmon. It's absolutely delicious. To mix it up, I guess it's like a pitcher who has a two-seamer and a four-seamer, or maybe a four-seamer and a cutter. I actually go grilled onions on my hamburger half the time and raw onions the other half. Today at lunch, I got the French fries, but half the time I get the onion rings, and I had a wonderful slice of pecan pie. There's something for everybody, whether you like hot dogs or grilled cheese. It's really up to the individual what mood they're in, but my go-to is either the beef with the hamburger or the wild salmon, which is absolutely delicious.
Wow. I love it. Grant Power, President, CEO of Nations. Grant, thanks so much.
Pleasure being on.
Fans, great news. If you enjoy Original Joe's, there's a new Original Joe's coming to Walnut Creek, opening late May, early June. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It is going to be fabulous. 300 seats, 13,000 square feet, 3 outdoor patios with 90 outside seats, a full exhibition counter and cocktail lounge. That's the best. And the cocktail lounge will have a multitude of TVs to watch the Giants and the dreaded A's if you want to. It's the first opening of an Original Joe's in 70 years in a new market, and this is really going to be something. 9 years since opening in Westlake, so this is going to be fabulous. It will have a private dining room with accommodations up to 40 people, with its own private bar and patio. It fits Walnut Creek like a glove. This is going to be something else. I can't wait to do some events at the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek, coming late May, early June. But it's August, and it actually is going to open up around August 14th or so.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah, so it's coming. It's going to be beautiful. So that's a big deal, and we do that contest every week. Guess the score of the game, and someone wins it, and one of the winners gets dinner for two at the new Original Joe's. The other one goes to Westlake or North Beach or West Portal, and then Raf gives away a dinner for Soto Mare in North Beach. So Eric, you got to cash in on some of this stuff when I see you.
Absolutely.
One of these places. The Pirates are winning 8-5 over the Rockies. The Rockies just scored 4 in the sixth to make it 8-5. That one is probably half over.
Yeah.
16-15 there. And the Padres and the Cardinals are no score. I'll talk about the Cardinals on the show today, too, at some point, and the Padres. Boy, baseball, you never know what the story's going to be. You just never know.
And that's the beauty of baseball, right? You just don't know.
No.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's bring in Phil Coffin, Coffin. There we go. Phil, thank you for being with us today. Phil is a longtime editor at the New York Times, has been a member of the Society for American Baseball Research, SABR, since 1994, and he lives at the Jersey Shore. So a Yankee fan, Met fan, who are you, Phil? Tell us.
I'm a fan of baseball, and it's probably at this point a good time not to be a Yankee or Met fan.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to hold it up, and this is the book. It's called a Baseball Book of Days, and it's 31 moments that transform the game. And Phil has been on my show before. He's done some nice work with some baseball history. Phil, this one put out by McFarland is really a lot of fun. Again, it's one of those books, Eric, that I like because you can pick up any page, and start reading. And it gives you some anecdote about baseball, many that you've never heard of, many that just refreshes your memory. So, Phil, tell us about a Baseball Book of Days, how it's put together, and how this came about.
Happy to, Marty, and thanks for having me on today. A Baseball Book of Days is sort of an advent calendar of baseball. Here's a date, and there's a person or event attached to that date that is important or fascinating. And then here's another date with another event or another person. And as the book goes through, we have 31 dates that attach to these important or remarkable people and events. And those are things that make up baseball. I mean, one of the attractions of baseball is that it's just full of stories in a way that other sports are not. And this gives me an opportunity to, as you mentioned, tell stories that people may not know or tell a little different aspect of stories that people do know. And so I'm kind of happy to be able to refresh memories or bring new pieces of information to light.
Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I was reading your introduction, and you captured the essence, I think, of what you're trying to do with this book. You talk about how baseball moments are memorable in isolation, and you give us little details about some of those memories, and then you say, but packaged together, they tell a richer, more complex, and more compelling story. I love that. And then I think you mentioned Bill James's historical baseball abstract. He does a fantastic job explaining the history of the game. As very unique situations where you may have never even heard about, and it's great. And a thing I love what you did with the book, because I was looking at the chapters, you put it in chronological order. Day 1 is in the beginning of the season. Day 31 is you're talking about winter meetings and such.
Yes.
So I love it how you did it in chronological order as far as these different moments in baseball history.
Well, as baseball fans know, the baseball season never really ends. There's always time to talk baseball. And the baseball calendar, there's always something on it. And so I thought that was a good approach to the book, that you can go through the entire year and there are things that stand out in that month. So obviously during the season, you have a lot more opportunities, but even out of season, over the course of we've been playing league baseball for 150 years now. The National League goes back to 1876. So there's plenty of grist for stories in season and out.
Phil, give us a few examples of anecdotes or dates that you chose and events of that date and how you developed it in the chapter, because it's not just the major event. There are other things that happened that date that you bring to light also. To give us a couple of them.
Right. Well, I'll take October 1st as one. October 1st intrigued me because it was the opening day of the first Modern World Series in 1903. The Pirates and the Boston American League team played. And the National League had been resistant to playing in a Modern World Series because they didn't want to give credence to this upstart league. Pirates said, we're in. So I thought it'd be interesting to go back and look and see what was the World Series like. It's part of our DNA now. It comes every year. But it was something new and different, and it was so different from what we're accustomed to now. One of the things that struck me was I was reading an article in The Sporting Life, which was sort of the sporting news of its day back in the early part of the 20th century. And the stories are openly talking about the players gambling on the game. So-and-so has $500 down on this game. And I mean, it astounded me that it was so open and so public. And you can kind of see how less than 2 decades later, there would be a big scandal at the World Series in baseball with the Black Sox, because gambling was such a part of the game then that we, growing up in the era that we did, could never conceptualize. The first World Series almost didn't take place because the owners were dickering back and forth. They were one of the teams, the owner of the Boston team, was trying to sort of not have to pay the players for playing in the World Series. So you see these labor management things that now, more than a century later, you still see those contentious moments between ownership and players. So to me, it was fascinating to see those kinds of things before you ever got to the World Series itself. So that October 1st was fascinating, but October 1st, as it turns out, is full of great dates. So I couldn't just leave it at the first World Series, as fascinating as it was to me. For example, the first playoff series in the National League, 1946, Cardinals and Dodgers, starts October 1st. The playoff series that old-time Giants fans would remember in 1951, that ended with a shot heard around the world, starts October 1st. Mm-hmm. So you have important dates here. Roger Maris hit his 61st home run on October 1st. Mm-hmm. So you have all sorts of things that have occurred on October 1st. And so they're like, after the discussion of the World Series, they're kind of like these bonus anecdotes that I provide. And I came across even one more that I just couldn't leave as an anecdote within the chapter. I decided to break it out as its own chapter. In researching something else, I stumbled across that some guy I had never heard of named Don Padgett had batted .399 in 1939. I said, who in the world is Don Padgett? I know baseball pretty well. I've never heard of this guy. How could I not know about a .399 season? Well, he was a terrible defensive player. He had been moved to catcher from the outfield because the Cardinals had a great outfield. And he was bad in the outfield and he was bad at catcher. And they wrote openly in the papers about how, he couldn't catch foul pops. He couldn't throw out base runners, but he could hit. And in 1939, as a part-time player, he's hitting and hitting and hitting. Gets hurt, comes back. He keeps hitting. You get down to the final day of the season, and the game is meaningless. But even now, with a chance to bat .400, his manager does not start him. Even against a pitcher he has owned in the past. So in the 8th inning, Don Padgett gets into the game as a pinch hitter, and lo and behold, he strokes a single up the middle, .400 season. Except the umpire has called timeout because a ball had gotten loose out of the bullpen. No play, no pitch. The pitcher now walks Padgett, and that's the last he comes to bat for the season. So he's a .399 hitter forever, not a .401 hitter.
Funny. Boy, it's good. See, that's why I like the book, because it's not only you can talk about the World Series in 1903, with the Royal Rooters and Honey Fitz, John Kennedy's grandfather being there, and enough said, McGreevy.
Enough said.
That's the way they settled arguments. Enough said. We should do shows like that. It's enough said. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
Talk to Larry about that. Yeah, it's enough. So, but all that's in the book, and there's 31 different stories like this that each one has tangents that really just it's almost like an encyclopedia of baseball. So I like it. It's
Okay.
I'll hold it up again. It's a baseball book of days. It's put out by McFarland. Phil, I assume you could get it in normal outlets, Amazon and all those things.
Yes, you can get the book at mcfarlandbooks.com, or you can get it at Amazon. So they both are easily accessible. Yes.
Yeah, we like to support the Book Tree up in Montclair, an independent bookstore.
Great
David,
store.
yeah, David is very good. In fact, he just sent me a couple of books, and then Nebraska just sent me this one. I'm going to try to get on too. Baseball in the Roaring '20s, which
Nice.
is Tom Wolfe. We've had him on before.
Mhm.
This is a good one. I'm going to try to get him on the show as well. I like
Great.
doing this. I like talking about the books, and we love baseball books. You don't see 10,000 books on football and basketball and golf and all that, but baseball you do, because the game today, we're really living the game 30 years ago or 40 years ago. When Jung-Hoo Lee gets 4 hits and walks and has a great day, you think of some other hitter who in your youth had that kind of day, and the Willie Mays, and turn the game around. And that's what baseball is all about. So these books are very special. So we're happy to have you on. Is the book doing okay?
Doing just fine. We're always happy to sell more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, there was a story. Maybe you can allude to this, since we're Giants fans here. Going back to the New York days, you talked about the Merkle boner, but there was someone else that did the same exact thing, but you never heard about. Doc Gill. Explain a little bit about what Doc Gill did, the same exact thing as Merkle boner that got all the fanfare.
Well, we'll just run through the Merkle boner for those who may not remember. It's something from 1912. So Merkle is a rookie, and pennant race late in the season. He's on first base, guy on third. Somebody strokes a single, run scores to win the game, except Merkle does not touch second base, as was the custom at the time. The Cubs second baseman, Johnny Evers, screams for the ball and gets to force out. The umpire says the run doesn't count. And it was a huge thing at the time, and it was a factor in the pennant race. The Giants don't win the game, and they wind up losing the pennant. As it turned out, just a couple of weeks before, the same kind of play involving the Cubs with the Pirates, who were also in this fantastic pennant race in 1908. Another rookie first baseman named Doc Gill does the same thing, doesn't touch second base. And the umpire says, fine, no problem. Johnny Evers had made the same complaint to the same umpire and said he should be out, but the umpire let it go. He acknowledged to Evers afterward that, maybe I was wrong. I'll have to look at that the next time it comes up in a game. And sure enough,
wow,
Doc Gill, who never got booed for anything, he's forgotten. Merkle gets called out because of the Doc Gill play, and history's changed. Now, when Fred Merkle died about half a century later, the headlines on his obituaries were all about Merkle's boner.
Mm-hmm.
When Doc Gill died, it was all about he was a dentist.
Yeah, it's a great story. And the umpire was infamous in that. I think it was Hank O'Day.
It was.
And it caused such concern on the conscience of the National League president that a lot of people say he committed suicide later on because of the ruling that pulling him, because of what he ruled in the Merkle play. So yeah, Merkle's on first, and I think Moose McCormick and Al Bridwell. Yeah, Moose is on third, and Britwell hits one up the middle, and Moose scores, and Merkel heads for the clubhouse in center field. They can't find the ball. Come on, they had to find a ball. So the Iron Joe McGinnity threw the ball in the stands.
Yep.
And they found another ball and brought
right.
it out and tagged second. It was nuts. It was.
And I mean, the fans,
if they had
the stormed the field, so I mean, you have fans all over. So the players are trying to.
No, come on.
Complete
If they
all
had
this.
the internet, then I mean, it would have exploded.
It would have.
That's baseball. That's what baseball is all about. So, when you see a guy running on the infield fly rule and getting tagged out, these are the things. It happens constantly, and it brings it back to us. That's why these stories are wonderful, and you tell them really well, Phil, in the book. So thank you for being on. Anytime.
I'm happy to chat with you guys. It's always fun talking baseball with you.
Good. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Phil.
day. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. That's great. That's great. I love the history of baseball. I mean, you just can't get enough of it.
I say, we live the history of baseball today. We just don't realize it.
Because we're in the moment.
That when you see Whisenhunt pitch, that you think back to Ron Bryant, or you think back to Nepper, or you think back to Bumgarner, from North Carolina. Everything that we love about baseball today is built on something. And that's where these books come about. And that's why I like having them on, because we all learn something about it, and we appreciate the game. So let's see what's new.
Let's see what we got in here. Game had to be replayed. No, the game wasn't replayed. If you're talking about the Merkel game,
it was replayed because the team. Well, not that game. Well, it was replayed because they ended up in a tie.
Because it was a tie, so they had to have a tiebreaker, right?
Well, the teams ended up in a tie. The Cubs and the Giants.
Right.
Christy Mathewson pitched for the Giants, and this is 1908. Christy Mathewson is pitching. The Giants have got to win. And they knock him out. Basically, they beat him. And for the Cubs, Three Finger Brown. Three Finger Brown comes in and pitches great.
Yep.
Why did they call him that? Because he lost two fingers in a threshing.
Thresher.
What do you call that? The thing that
the farm implement. Yeah.
Yeah, the wheat thing. And he ends up pitching the game, and the Cubs beat the Giants. The Cubs and the Giants, I want to tell you, had the biggest rivalry. Rivalry. You don't realize it today. We have the Dodger Giant thing. In the early part of the 20th century, the Cubs Giants, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And Cub baseball was a big deal. And Cub baseball really made the city of Chicago.
Right.
And Cub and White Sox baseball in the early part of the 20th century. So you get me started on this. I can talk all day about it. So, all right. 12-4? Was that the score, Eric? 12-4?
12-4 was the final. Giants against the Mets. Final game of the 3-game series. Giants take the series.
Yeah. That was a good job by Whisenhunt. So now, what's today? Sunday. So we'll see Whisenhunt over the weekend against the Nationals.
Okay. We'll
see Tang probably Friday. I guess he's going to get another start. I guess. And we'll see against the Nationals at Oracle. Maybe you can deal with it. And then we'll see Whisenhunt on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it'll be Verlander against the Nationals. Then I'll look at my schedule. Then the trouble starts.
Yeah. Yeah, August is not going to be pretty. September at least seems fairly light, but August is going to be tough.
Well, after the Nationals, then it's the Padres for 3 at home, then Tampa Bay for 3 at home, and then going to San Diego for 4. So we'll see what San Diego does. They're loaded. Yeah. They got all these people, but their starting pitching's a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens. But they look good. They look good.
They did. They got a good bullpen. They emptied a clip in the trade deadline to upgrade their bullpen. They got a couple of hitters in Laureano and O'Hearn. So it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, this was fun today, though. This was fun.
Yes.
if you're just joining us, 12-4. Wisenhunt was terrific. Devers, a big 3-run homer. Schmidt, a 3-run homer. But Jung-Hoo Lee, 4 hits and got on base. He walked his 5th time. It was huge, huge.
Absolutely.
And it all came together today and beat a Mets team that's going to go right down to the wire with the Phillies.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. All right, cool. That's that enough, Eric?
I think so. That was a good show. Let me ask your opinion with the way the rotation is. Do you think you were going to see Blade Tidwell anytime soon?
Well, I thought when not necessarily for the rotation, but I thought with Beck and Bivens being knocked around,
Oh yeah,
they pitched a lot of innings. I could see maybe one going, not Bivens, probably Beck, going back down to Sacramento, and Tidwell coming up. Now, Seymour hasn't pitched a lot yet either. They can't get him in a game.
Right.
So let's see what Tang does. But yeah, I could see Tidwell. It's like getting a new toy or a car. You want to try it out. You want to ride, right? You want to see what it looks like. You want to see what Gilbert looks like, what Rodriguez looks like.
Right.
So yeah, all those guys will be up. I firmly believe that they will be up. And
we got September coming up here in another month, and they expand the roster by 2. So we'll see what they do.
I saw Ragsdale was claimed by the Orioles today, and Sean Jelly cleared waivers and went back to Sacramento. So good for him.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm glad he's still there. So any other questions? Let's see.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see.
Someone wants to know if we could take calls. It's kind of complicated. But if you want to ask me a question.
Here we go. Justin Rosenthal said, who had the funniest nickname back in the early 20th? Ooh. Ooh. Maybe an umpire, Bill Clem, Catfish.
Okay. How about the guy who was the catcher for Walter Johnson? Muddy Rule.
Muddy Rule. Oh, there we go. Oh, how about Ernie Lombardi, the schnoz, right?
Old Hoss Radbourne.
Old Hoss Radbourne. Well, Three Finger Brown. I mean, we already talked about him.
Finger Brown is a good one. Yeah. Dazzy Vance.
Dazzy and Dizzy. Yeah.
Come on. Can you imagine calling? And the Giants bring up their new player today, Dizzy Lurie.
Or how about the big train? The big train. You talked about Walter Johnson.
Yeah, Walter Johnson, the big train. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, there's so many.
Can't think of a million of them.
Right.
It's a lot. Why don't the Giants call Eldridge up now?
He's 20.
He's not ready. Woe said it. He's still working on defense. He just came off an injury. What are you going to do with him? I mean, what's the point right now? Devers is here. He's sort of playing first. Smith is doing a decent job. And Eldridge is, it's like
he's learning.
The cake ain't ready yet.
Right. Got to bake a little longer. Exactly. Yeah. I like that. Let him cook.
Yeah. I'd love to see him in the fall league. I'd love to see him in the fall league down here and have a big fall league. I'd love to see him play down here. And, now that he's missed a good part of the season with injury, maybe they will put him in the fall league.
Maybe. There's a possibility. Yeah. And then look, and I think
2-0 Padres, Spencer Stewart says.
Oh.
Yeah. The Cardinals are a bat-to-ball kind of team, not a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
They're a bat-to-ball kind of team, and they're in transition now.
They are, because they sold Helsley. Oh man, that guy can throw, can he?
Yeah, yeah.
Who else did they? I don't think they. Oh no, they just released Fetty. He wasn't really doing nothing.
Yeah, Matz went to Boston.
That's right.
Stephen Matz but Sonny Gray didn't go anywhere.
No, he didn't. Or Arenado went nowhere.
Nicholas Arenado. No, their shortstop is pretty good. He's the guy. When Crawford went there, he tutored him a little bit. That Mason.
Oh,
Wynn.
Mason.
Yeah, he can play. So Padres. Well, there's a good question. I don't want him exposed to his coaching staff. He's not right. Birdsong. Birdsong is supposed to pitch today. Did they play already?
I think he played. Did he pitch yesterday or not? Or hell, let me take a look. I'm gonna take a look.
This morning, they gave me the Sacramento lineup that had Gilbert
okay.
in it, had Rodriguez in it, and I thought they said Birdsong was pitching.
No, it shows Black. I think Birdsong pitched yesterday.
Did he?
I think so, and I think he got touched up, if I'm not mistaken.
Birdsong was terrible yesterday. Our Eldridge guy said.
Yeah, Black is going to pitch today.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess Eldridge had 2 home runs yesterday. Good for him.
Did he have 2 yesterday?
Yesterday he did, yeah.
Hey, why don't they bring him up? How come no one wants him to bring him up?
You know, I brought that up on my show yesterday. Remember Christian Arroyo? He was batting nearly 400 in Sacramento. Bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. You bring him up, and then didn't exactly, he wasn't as advertised. It happens, though.
Look, there's a big difference between AAA and the major leagues. There just is. I mean, you could see with Grant McCray, and more power to Casey Schmidt for making the transition.
He did.
It wasn't simple. It wasn't simple. You know, he came up and was 380, and then he just disappeared. And now he's coming back, and now he gives you a tough at bat.
He does. And, you know, it's kind of, remember how everyone was really high on Fitzgerald? Everyone thought he was going to be guy, and then Schmidt was going to fall by the way. But it kind of, there's a little bit of a difference there. Schmidt's the one that's been able to adapt and adjust, and Fitzgerald hasn't been able to do that, at least not yet. I don't know how much time he's got left. He's a little bit older, but.
You got to go up and down. So Schmidt has been down. Now he's on the rebound. Fitzgerald is still in the valley.
Yes.
And hasn't done the rebound yet.
Correct.
But once guys learn how to play like that, it becomes interesting. Look, I'll say it again. Jung-Hoo Lee, he's a rookie, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, he played till May last year, and this is August. So now he's probably got 160 games in the big leagues. I don't know. Probably someone should add up what Jung-Hoo Lee.
How many games he's played?
His lifetime, what he's doing lifetime now in the big leagues. It'd be interesting to see that, because I think he's finally put together a full season.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's got to learn.
Yes.
Now, today, he flipped the ball to left field. He went the other way.
He's starting to do that a lot more. In his last few games, he's doing that a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark Peralta is at least starting to adjust to Major League. Yes. He's starting to go the other way, and he's hitting some ground balls. He hit a ball right past Frankie Montas. They almost took his head off. Hit one up the middle.
Spencer chimes in, 143 games for Lee so far.
Okay, that's it. So, give him a shot, and he's gone into the valley. Now maybe he's coming out. And the other thing about the Mets series, his hat didn't fall off once.
Yes, there could be something to that.
I'm telling you,
that cannot help.
Keep the guy's hat on.
Yeah,
head steady.
Right. Ever since he started wearing that bandana, I don't know if it just doesn't fit as tight, but yeah, that helmet, every swing, there it goes.
Do I think the Brewers and Andrew Vaughn and their pitching be favorites to win the World Series? Well, Woodruff is pitching great. Peralta has pitched really well. I like their bullpen.
Mizorowski.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
But they don't let the kid pitch more than 4 innings or 5 innings. They're really protecting him.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. The Brewers, they're good.
They're good.
I like the manager. I like the way they play.
Yeah, I like his management.
And I have to give Larry credit. Larry wanted Vaughn. He was all year long. He said the Giants should go out and get Vaughn. And Andrew Vaughn from Cal, Santa Rosa, right? And he's crushing it for the Brewers.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Maybe a helmet or the bandana was obscuring his vision. Yeah, because ever since he started wearing, they built earlier. It looked like they fixed his helmet. It wasn't flying off. Then he put the bandana on. Now the helmet was flying all over the place. And now maybe they figured something out. That cannot be easy. You're swinging and you got that helmet. Just keep. It's in the back of his mind. hey, here comes this hit. The helmet's going to come off again. I mean, it can't help with this hitting. We'll say that.
Yeah, Mark says they ordered his hat. It hasn't arrived yet. Where's it coming? Come on, can't they go pick it up? Is it that hard to?
The clubhouse guy got to be able to do something, right?
Is there a
Add
tariff?
something to it. Yeah.
Is there a tariff holding it up? Is that the problem?
Get some double stick tape or something. I don't know.
Well, what country is it coming? Maybe there's a 50% tariff on it. Maybe it can't clear customs. But all right, Pirates for 3, then Washington at home for 3, and then the Padres come in. Well, Washington is Tampa Bay, and then the Padres. So,
yep.
This is going to be fun. The Giants can do, look, it's going to be very hard. There's only 50 games to go. So you got, win 35 and out of 50. Is that going to happen? It's
right.
30 out of 50. Is that going to happen? Just to get to 86. So, but the point is there's a lot of baseball left to be played. We'll see what happens.
Just see what happens. Exactly. I've been telling people day by day, series by series, and let's just see what happens. They're not necessarily dead in the water, right? It's not looking good, but they're not dead in the water, not by any stretch of the imagination.
You're 6 or 7 back in the loss column, and you have head-to-head games with Padres. You do. And I'll tell you the other thing about Cincinnati, and I like Cincinnati, and I've been on them for about a month now. And I love Terry Francona.
Mm-hmm.
They got to play in that division. That division is not simple.
No, it's not.
The Cubs, Milwaukee, and of course, St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh is annoying, as we have seen. So Cincinnati's got to go through that gauntlet.
Yes, they do.
Let's get a very, very favorable September schedule.
Yes, they do. They can make up some
Cardinals, and you don't know if the Cardinals will still be in this thing or where their heads will be. And they get a ton with Arizona too, and a ton with Colorado also.
Yes.
So if somehow they can weather the storm a little bit, there's still a lot to be played.
Yes.
There's still a lot, we know what the warts are. They need 2 starting pitchers, and Wisenhunt took a big step today. And they need to straighten the bullpen out. They need that 7th, 8th inning has got to be straightened out.
They do.
Measures in Duvall really hurts. But there's a lot of baseball left to be played. And as I say, you get the Pirates, you get Washington. Heck, why not? You can have a good little run here.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's doable. It's just whether or not the Giants go out there and execute. That's all we ask. Go out there, execute, and good things can happen.
Pitch and defense. And don't run into an out.
Yeah.
And don't make silly errors. And
maybe brush up on the rules.
And play with runners in scoring position. It's not hard. Washington's, San Diego at home. This is after 3 at Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay at home. So that's a good homestand, 9 games. Then going to San Diego for 4, Milwaukee for 3, and coming home with the Cubs and the Orioles. And that's what August looks like. It's doable.
Mm-hmm.
It's doable. It's going to be a challenge at the end, but these 9 games coming up now.
You go 6-3, and hey, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
Well, you got to cut down the gap. Mm-hmm. Because right now you're 6 back of San Diego. You don't want to be 9 back.
Right.
As I always say, you get to that 7 mark, it's very dangerous because you could go to 10, but then you could go to 4.
Right.
They're right in that bad spot right now. Right in it. So you got to win now. You can't afford to go back to 9 or 10 games. So
no.
Let's see.
Trying to see the San Diego. What's this? Oh, still 2-zip. San Diego, bottom of the 5th. Just taking a look.
Yeah, well, the Giants need to seriously question Adames and Chapman. Is there back-to-back? Yes. They need another hitter.
They do.
I've said, they do. They need some people around these guys.
They do.
You don't want to.
That's
You need
that's
another
something
big
that
hitter.
the Buster's going to have to do in the offseason. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
They need another big hitter, and you can't be afraid to trade some minor leaguers to try to get one. I'm going to be pissed if the Giants sign Stroman. They will not sign Stroman.
No. Oh my God, no.
He was awful. Padres don't scare the Eldridge guy. Okay. Was it 2-0 San Diego? Is that the score then?
Still 2-0 San Diego, bottom 5.
Yeah.
Sign
Stroman,
Tucker. I don't know about that one.
well, he's going to get 500 million.
He's getting 500 million, 100%. Yep.
The thing is, with big free agents to come here, they just don't want to come here.
Mhm.
That's the problem. You'd have to offer them 700 million.
Right.
If they're offensive players, they just don't want to come here.
That's why you got to draft the development and trades. And that's what Buster Posey was able to do with Devers. He was able to get a beautiful trade. And look, Devers looks like he's having a great time. I mean, you see him in the dugout. He's having a good time with the guys. I don't see any kind of angst in the clubhouse like there's some type of drama. It looks like they're having a good old time.
Yeah. Now here's Haruko Hitaki.
Hiroku, oh, this guy,
Okay, come on, man. What is this? Based on your knowledge of baseball, a lot of capitals. You think this team is a playoff team?
Never said that. Never said that.
Not. It's just the way. It's the nature of baseball.
Thank you.
You don't give up.
Yes.
Until you're 6 back with 5 to go.
Right.
And that's the way I've been taught baseball my whole life. Do I think they're a playoff team? No.
No.
No, the pitching has fallen apart, and they have too many holes in the lineup. And there's not enough games left to do it. So do I think they're a playoff team? No, I don't. What do I think about Carlos Correa going back to Houston? I think he belongs there.
Yeah,
And he'll
right.
play third base, and he's an Astro.
Yeah, he has. Right. He came up at the club. I don't think he really wanted to leave, to be honest with you. And now he's coming back home, so to speak. So yeah, we'll see. Houston's still leading the AL with the AL West. That's going to be a heck of a fight too, right? Between Houston and Seattle and Texas. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. All right, this is fun. Yeah, we can I like doing the show like this.
Isn't it fun? It's relaxing.
Well, I like to chat, and I like seeing what people say. And if you have a question, just put it in the chat, and it's fun to read them. It's like taking calls again for me.
Yes, right?
That's
that's how me and you got affiliated with the phone calls every weekend. 6 months out of the year, we were talking every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. Eric from Beale Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Practice to put you on. I know I talked about it this morning, and my best wishes and love go out to Greg Papa.
Yeah.
Who's fighting cancer. Yeah. And I know he's probably not listening to this show, but I know he listens to the radio show. And love him. And just love him and want good things to happen. So, Pop, if you are listening, you have our love and support. And Eric, I'm sure from you too. And
absolutely.
And Larry has said it as well. So, yeah. So that's the news. All right. So we'll do some more of the author stuff. I like doing the author stuff.
I love doing the book reviews. It's great. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Stretch Stewart didn't hear that. Yeah. Yeah. Greg has announced that Friday morning he's fighting cancer.
Yeah. He made that announcement on KMBR, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. On Friday morning. I know they talked about it. So, yeah. And the Eldridge guy has the hands praying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We're all there for Pop. Pop meant a lot to my career.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been a good friend. Gary Radnich was the best. He had me on.
Nice.
I was nobody, just starting out. And he gave me a lot of credibility. But Pop did too.
That's great.
These people were very good to me. George Corey. Well, I think Buster's going to be very active.
I think so.
And I think he needs a first baseman, maybe a second baseman. We'll see.
And a right fielder.
Right fielder and a backup catcher. So, yeah, he needs people to go around the core. The core, they're not going anywhere. They're not going. We know that. Chapman, Adames. Bailey could. Lee isn't going anywhere. Devers isn't going anywhere. But Ramos probably isn't. But there's some open spots there where people, I think
starting
that
pitcher.
Yeah, I think for sure. And starting, well, they have so many young starting pitchers.
Maybe that Blake Tidwell, maybe he shows something.
Because Verlander won't be back.
No.
And, Ray will be here. Ray will be here and Webb will be here. But then the other three spots are really wide open.
Wide open. Maybe Roop.
Depending.
Well, I don't know what.
He's healthy. Roop should be here if he's healthy. But, they could sign. Pitching, they can sign.
That's not a problem. Right.
They can sign pitching. It's just that they probably don't want to pay $120 million or $180 million for a pitcher whose next pitch his arm could come apart.
Correct.
Pitchers love to come here, but the Giants don't want to pay that kind of dough. So they end up getting 1-year guys and, sort of rehabbing or trying to find their way. But they may have to go out and spend some money and get a younger type pitcher. Zach Gallen, that kind of guy. Maybe he's got to prove himself again. Maybe you get him on a short deal.
You got Framber, but he's going to cost. He's going to be a free agent, but he's going to cost.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly. There are some out there, that you could deal with. Flores, yes, Flores probably won't come back.
Yeah, I don't see him.
He should be a fourth outfielder, Daniel. I don't think so.
No,
pretty good center fielder. I think he
He's
doesn't.
He doesn't need to be. He just has to get his reps in. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Mark he thinks Wisenhut. Yeah. It's nice to see what he did today.
And he improved from his last start. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good sign. He improved from his last start.
Yeah.
I got a little bit worried with that leadoff home run though.
I know. But he's got his stuff and he threw strikes when he got the lead after Devers gave him the home run. Then he started pumping strikes in and not fooling around. So it was decent coaching and he responded today. He's a little different guy. And, as I said today on the pregame show, you don't usually see pitchers who have tattoos on their throwing arm. He does.
Yeah, he does.
What can I tell you? He's a little different, but it's okay. So keep that in mind with him. He's a little different. And plus he's a lefty. Yep. Lefties are weird. I'm a lefty. Trust me. Lefties are strange. And that's Wisenhut.
And it's kind of strange. We got real quick before you get out of here. We got a bunch of Roop from North Carolina, Bumgarner, North Carolina, Wisenhut, North Carolina, a lot of North Carolinians. Bailey. Yep. There we go. A lot of North Carolinians.
Yep. It's good. All right. Well, this was fun. We'll do this. What's next Sunday? What time's the game? 1:05. So we'll probably do this about 4:05 next Sunday.
Sounds perfect.
And then maybe during the week we'll do something. One of the.
Oh,
days.
That'd be great. I bet you the fans will love it. They love hearing you, Marty.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad that we could do this, and I like taking the questions. I like when you and I do this. Just take the questions.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I love it. I do that on my show all the time. I'm always bringing up the chats, just having that dialogue back and forth. Because that's what baseball is, right, Marty? It's a conversational sport.
Yeah, it's. There's no question about it. Vince Cotroneo told me that years ago. It's a talking sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. New catcher too. Not impossible. Not impossible, especially if they bring in that automatic ball strike thing.
Right. It's going to lower the value of some of these guys.
Yeah, but something, I said this to Will yesterday when we were talking. I said for Bailey, he takes a strike that may be borderline. Maybe it's going to be called a strike and frames it so well that the umpire confidently calls it a strike.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he takes a ball and makes it a strike. That he does. But he takes a strike and really makes it a strike.
Yeah.
And that won't change. And that won't change. He'll, he won't be able to pull it in from the on deck circle and make it a strike. But the ones that are close that probably will be called strikes, umpires are going to get very comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
That's his value. That's his value.
It is.
Wilson Contreras or Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy, maybe.
Oh, Sean. Yeah, I think they're both going to be free agents next year, I
Not
believe.
impossible. What happened to Vince Cotroneo? The A's broadcast let him go. And I think he's down in Arizona. I don't think he's doing any baseball work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He'd be fun to have on.
Eddie Montague would be another great one to have on.
Yeah, Eddie would be good. Okay. Yeah, these shows are good. We have to expand just a little bit.
Sure.
Season, you go through a season and you get in the routine of doing it. So good game today. That's the main thing.
Yes.
And we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Absolutely, right? Another day. Let's go out there and get a win.
Good. All right, Eric. Nice job. And Ryan, good job. And we will talk to you for sure next Sunday around 4. And then during the week, people should subscribe, right, Eric? And then they get
absolutely. You've subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You'll know every time Marty goes live. And of course, like and leave a comment. Once the live stream is over, leave a comment in the comments, and we try to get back to them.
All right. Have a good day. Thanks, Eric.
You bet. Take care, everyone.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you kindly. Enjoy the next week. We've got a whole bunch of baseball to speak on here at Marty and